Hey guys, this is Zach B, bringing you my first video in a new series I'm calling DC In Depth, in which I'll be discussing origins and histories for different DC comic characters, as well as storylines in the Silver and Bronze Ages. Today we are looking at one of my favorite DC villains that hardly gets mentioned, Vandal Savage. Vandal Savage was created by Alfred Bester and Martin Odell and first appears in Green Lantern number 10 in December of 1944. Described as only an immortal, Savage only really cares about one thing: conquest. His abilities include immortality, superhuman strength, a genius-level intellect, and has excellent skills in combat. Some of his known enemies are Green Lantern Alan Scott, the Immortal Man, the Time Traveler Rip Hunter, and The Flash, to name a few. He has made several TV appearances in Justice League the Animated Series. In a 3-episode story arc of the Justice League Animated Series titled The Savage Time, Savage traveled back in time to World War II to replace Hitler and defeat the Allied forces, causing them to lose the war. The Justice League was unaffected by the change in the timeline due to the protection of Green Lantern. Because of the change in the timeline, the Justice League was unaware of what just took place and was shocked to see a Nazi regime presence everywhere. This also led to the Justice League encountering an alternate version of Batman, in which he was the leader of the Resistance. He also stars in the second half of the Season 2 story Hereafter, in which Superman is transported thousands of years into the future. There, he finds the Earth destroyed, and the only person alive is Vandal Savage. In the episode Maid of Honor, Savage claims to be his own grandson and tries to marry Princess Audrey of Casnia in an attempt to rule her kingdom for himself. Savage is also part of a group called The Light in the cartoon Young Justice. Him, along with other supercriminals, try behind the scenes to take over the world. One of his best accomplishments on the show was secretly brainwashing Red Arrow into helping him take over the League in order to gain access to the Watchtower. In the animated movie Justice League Doom, Vandal Savage heads up the Legion of Doom in another attempt to take over the world and has to go up against the Justice League once again in order to do it. Originally as a character from Earth 2, Savage was an immortal man dating back from the Cro-Magnon era. In prehistory, 50,000 years ago BC, Savage was a caveman named Vandar Ag, leader of the Cro-Magnon blood tribe. One night, while he and his tribe were out walking, a major meteor storm began to take place. Meteors struck Earth violently all over the place, scaring most of his tribe, causing them to run away in fear. Witnessing one of the meteors striking the Earth, Vandar, not scared like many of his fellow cavemen, was curious about the glowing rock. Since it was very cold, Vandar walked over to the meteorite and laid next to it.
Far older than that. The first time a meteor granted me power was over 25,000 years ago. While my fellows cowered with fear, I dared approach the strangely glowing rock. Warm. The night was very cold. I slept curled up next to it, not realizing what its rays were doing to me. But over the millennia that followed, as I watched those around me grow old and die, while I remained unchanged, I discovered the truth and came to accept my destiny.
Destiny?
I live to rule.
In an 8-part comic miniseries from 1990 called Time Masters, Rip Hunter goes up against Vandal Savage in an attempt to wipe him from existence by traveling to different points along his timeline. We first start this adventure with a scene from the present, then 1990. We see a shadowy group meeting in secret, discussing what to do about the Pope, if you can believe it or not. It is later revealed that this group is the Illuminati and Vandal Savage is their leader. Anyway, the matter of Rip Hunter and his ability to travel in time is brought to Savage's attention, and he has a plan already worked out and gives the word to implement this plan. We see next that there is an explosion at a laboratory. This lab belongs to Rip Hunter, and is apparently where he and his associates conduct their research from. Rip is on the scene, and after making sure people are okay, we find out that this is where he was doing research on time travel. His associates are informing him that they are not sure if their insurance covers the explosion, and even if they knew who caused this, that it still wouldn't help them because this is basically an illegal operation. But if Rip was still hell-bent on continuing with his experiments, he was welcome to what was left in the rubble.